What's up? How y'all doing? Stigmonger. This is probably the best designed California automatic out there. Production knife, I'll say, in my opinion. This thing is just fantastic. This is the Protech half-breed. This is a first for me on a lot of occasions, on a lot of things, right? This is my first S35 VN knife, right? Which may shock some people, actually, with as many knives as I have. And this is also my first Protech. So, a whole new experience on a lot of different things. I'm a really big fan of this thing. I've had it about 2 weeks. I've carried it almost every day. And it's just, I really like this thing. It's usable, you know what I mean? Opposed to most California automatic switchblades that, you know, there's a stigma out there. Well, it's not even a stigma. There's a thing that manufacturers do in trying to match blade length to handle ratio, right? They want them in the same, the blade to just be barely fitting into the handle, you know what I mean? Which is cool. I actually, most of the time that's great. But when you're compromising blade length to suit a certain purpose, you know what I mean? Because this knife was obviously designed to be able to be sold in states where there's a 2-inch blade limit, mainly California, automatic knives, right? And so it was a fantastic idea. Why compromise your handle length? Why do that? This is an awesome little knife. It's a Benchmade 3150 Impel. This is an awesome little knife. And what they did, you can see here, is they just made it a very working shape. It's a very easy, a very good grip. You've got a very good purchase on it. This handle was already designed. I can't remember the name of the knife, you know what I mean? So they just took a full-sized handle. It's not really full-size. It is a smaller handle, smaller grip, but they took a decent-sized, mid-sized knife and just shrunk the blade, which is awesome. You know what I mean? It gives you a full working grip with a, California legal automatic. I don't really have anything to say too much about the S35 yet because I'm yet to need to sharpen it. I've stropped it up a few times, but it doesn't have any actual wear on it, so I don't need to sharpen it. I don't like the fact that they use Allen screws, right, for the pivot. It's a badass pivot, right? Actually, you know what? It doesn't matter that they use Allen screws because of how nice of a pivot it is. I imagine that piece has been heat treated. That's probably heat treated steel. So it doesn't matter. That's probably not going to strip out. But at the same time, you know what I mean? Most of the time, I would hate that. In this one, I don't really have a problem with it because I imagine these are really quality screws. If they're not, then that's not cool because the pocket clip, you can see, is a Torx head. Great pocket clip. Great deep carry pocket clip. G10 inlay. Definitely semi-open flow. It's fast. It's a quick little knife, right? Alright. Okay. It kind of puts the Impel to shame. Like it really does as far as speed. The blade shape, honestly, is very similar. You know what I mean? And the reason for that, I think, is just because when you're limited to 2 inches, what are you going to do? This is going to be the best working shape, best working design for a 2-inch blade. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You're kind of limited to that. I love the fact of how thin, of how acute this tip is, though. Because on a knife this small, you're never going to be doing very hard work. You know what I mean? They're very, very heavy cutting tasks. So having that really thin tip is just a major positive, because it enables you to do very fine, very detailed work. So it's just great blade profile, all around great blade profile. There's not too much stopping you from slipping up, but honestly, if you're going to do any sort of penetrating stabs with the, motion with this, there's only 2 inches of penetration, right? So unless you hit something hard, if you hit hard material, yeah, there's still going to be a major risk of slipping up onto the blade. But if you don't hit hard material, if you're actually penetrating through soft material, you're only going in 2 inches. So there's not going to be as much force required as if you're having, like a 6-inch blade. Because, I mean, it grows exponentially, the amount of force required upon, deeper and deeper penetration. So, it's not a whole lot of force required, especially just with that. It's as cute of a tip as that is, you know what I mean? It really is just going to sail through material. So I wouldn't be worried at all about slipping up onto this thing. And you really can get some work done with this. You know what I mean? It's only 2 inches. I'm a big fan of big knives. I mean, if watch me on my channel, I like big knives. I really do. But there's something that's just, you know what I mean? Being able to carry an automatic is just fun. And this, honestly, I think if you're going to carry a California legal automatic, this is probably the best one. It's the best one I've seen. Unless you want to go, I mean, you can go something, which this is considered a switchblade in California. Yeah, right? This is cheapy. And you can actually, Protech does make, I believe it's, what is it? UTX 70 CA? Something like that. It's a UTX 70. Little double action out the front. But this is a better working knife. That's a cooler knife. Honestly, that's a cooler knife any day. But this is a better working knife. Because the grip on the UTX 70 is tiny. You know what I mean? I was actually playing with it. They had it in the store, Weeby Knives in San Francisco on Pier 39. That's where I got this. They had a few of them in there as well, and it's just freaking tiny. You know what I mean? It was just way too small. This has got a good working grip. You can cut into packages. People will actually really like this one too. I force a lot of knives on people, like, hey, look at this, hey, look at this one, because I have a new knife every week, so I'm like, look at this one, and, some of them get better reactions than the others. Actually, there's something, right? I want to say that. Come back in, come on. Focus for me. Maybe. God damn it. I swear, you guys, I'm going to get a better camera. I will. Because this thing's shitting out, man. It's old as shit. Right? But what else? I'm going to be getting a better camera, you guys. I promise you. Just because of how many subscribers I got. So if you're a subscriber, I'm going to be updating my gear because of you. I am not into tech gear. I pretty much hate technology. So me being on YouTube is like, it's just an amazing thing in itself. But I will update, and it's just because you guys are badass. I got I don't even know how many, it's like 160 something subscribers right now. It's awesome. But you see the scratches on there? That's what I was getting into. Scratches, right? That is from my keys, okay? What I'll do is just rub it for a minute. Keys are made out of brass. See, I can rub that off. It's an aluminum body, right? Aluminum handle. So, the aluminum is obviously softer than brass, right? So the aluminum would scratch off on the keys. However, it's got this coating on the aluminum, which means the coating is harder than the brass in my keys. For my keys to scratch off on there and then for me to be able to rub it clean with my thumb, just rub that brass off of there, whatever coating they have on this anodization is badass. It's harder than the metal in my keys. But that's it. Half-breed. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for subscribing.